Thank you all for being here today. Thank you. If there are any moms in the group, thank you for joining us on this Mother's Day weekend. Greatly appreciate that we're here. Just wanted to say before we get started, Kevin Crosby, along with past District Governor Frank Adamson, both past district governors, have been our membership chairs for quite a while now. Past District Governor Melissa Schrock had stepped in for quite some time as well. And as we all know, Kevin is convalescing right now, so our thoughts and prayers continue to be with him. He was supposed to be presenting with me today. Thankfully, Melissa has stepped into his part of the role, and we're going to be discussing membership, thinking out of the box, attrition and attraction of our members, and a little bit of a public image piece in with this as well, because Rotarians are some of the greatest assets on the planet, and we all know it, but we need to get that message out, and that'll help us attract new members. It'll help us retain the members that we have. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to let Melissa Schrock, our past district governor, welcome all of you as well and say hello.
Thank you, Michelle. Good morning, everybody. It is wonderful to be re-engaged with you all again. I have missed you. It's been almost, it's probably been a solid 9 months. So the presentation that has been put together today, I would just like to make clear, past Governor Kevin did the majority of these slides that I will be speaking on. So all of the credit for the pretty slides goes to Kevin. But all of the talk that you're going to get is straight from me, but I'm going to try to do it in the best spirit I can, following Kevin's lead. So with that, why don't we get started? So why are you here? If you are here because you feel guilty, you feel like you should be here out of a sense of duty, you had nothing else to do on a Saturday morning, please just raise your hand and tell me if that's why you're here. All right, okay. I don't think anybody's here for that reason. I think that we are here for different reasons, and I think they're more related to some ideas for recruiting. We're looking for ways to engage our members. We are looking to learn a little bit more about this satellite club that we've heard so much about. What exactly is that? How can my club benefit from that? We have concerns that maybe our clubs are shrinking. And I'll let Michelle get caught up to me. We've rehearsed this sort of this morning, but you know, maybe your club is shrinking. Maybe your club is aging. Maybe your club is heading towards extinction, and you are looking for some new ideas on how to re-engage. So that's what our goal is today. And for those of you that may not know, I am a passionate Buffalo Bills fan. They are my boys, okay? And I have loved this team when they are 2-14. I have loved this team when they went to 4 Super Bowls in a row. I have loved them through wide rights. I have loved them through it all. And I'm still with them, right? And wouldn't it be great if people that are current members or members that we want to encourage to join us, if they felt that same passion towards being a member of Rotary. And so I'm going to share a little story. The NFL draft was just last weekend, and I know you all were watching it, desperately wanting to know who the Bills were going to recruit. And they recruited a young man out of Florida. He is a Gator. It's his only downfall so far. He's not a Seminole, he was a Gator. But his name was Kair Elam. And he was so excited when he got the call from the coach and the owner of the Buffalo Bills. What they do is they're going to send their private plane down to pick him up and bring him back to Buffalo. And all he kept saying was, put the playbook on the plane, put the playbook on the plane. He could not wait to join and be a part of it. And that's what my vision for Imagining Rotary is. Imagine if we could get people that excited to join and be a part of what we do. But in order for that to be successful, we need to diagnose what our current problems are. We need to develop some strategies to see why we aren't really growing the way that we need to, and figure out how to fix that. What are some ideas, strategies we can do? And talk about, again, the benefits of a satellite club. And ultimately, we want to put together an action plan. So behind the scenes, there's been some great research going on about where we're at. And it's all focused around attrition and attraction. So let me just put this really simple. Attrition monitors the percentage at which we're losing people. And attraction monitors the amount that we're gaining them. So on this slide that's on our screen right now, you can see that RI overall, they're losing members at 14%, but we are only gaining them at 13%. So this is simple, basic math. We're losing overall 1% every year. When you look at our district, those numbers are actually a little bit worse. So we are losing 15.6%, but we are only attracting at 13%. So this trend needs to be addressed. And in case you are not a president-elect sitting in on this, and you're a club member, I wanted you to know that the specifics for your club have been shared with your president-elect. Every club should know where they stand. If your president-elect hasn't shared this with you, I would ask that you maybe bring it up and take a look at it as a club, because I think if you all don't know where you're going, you're never going to know when you get there. And this is going to help you with an action plan on how to fix this number. So let's move forward. Kevin's got this great graphic about attrition, attraction, and it's all kind of color coded. So you've got these pretty green, yellow going to red. Okay. And so this box that's coming up here. So this is, if your club is considered has a great growth culture, you are seeing low attrition, meaning you're not losing a lot of people, and great attraction. And as a side note, this chart that we've given all the PEs, they're colored green, yellow, and red. So you actually know where you're falling as a club. The second one to be concerned is this danger zone, which means you have very high attrition and very low attraction. You are losing way more than you're gaining. And then we've got those, squares in the middle. So we've got some low attraction, which means you're kind of standing still. You've got some high turnover, which you're bringing people in, but you're sending them out at the same time. And then you've got the center block there, which is a very fragile balance of all of this combined. So you're kind of doing this. And so our goal is to obviously move everybody to that green box, but you don't know how to get to that green box if you don't know where you're getting there. So with that, what are some of the most important problems that we need to solve? And that would be high attrition rates, meaning you have low retention. Our attrition rate needs to exceed 15%. That number is not something we just sort of picked out of the sky. It comes from that first graphic we talked about that relates to our district, but it's also a number that RI in general developed to to use as a benchmark, right? So we need to exceed 15% when we're doing this. So our low attraction, obviously it needs to be is 10% or lower than our attrition. Michelle, I'm getting lost here. Are these the numbers we're using off our screen? Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, guys. I literally just got this presentation at 7:15 this morning, so bear with me. When we're talking about our district, okay, which was 15% attrition or loss, 13% attraction, like that's the problem that we're trying to solve here. Both of these need to be addressed because they're both not good numbers. It's just that simple. And if you do neither, you need to build your growth culture and your strategy. So I guess what I'm trying to say, according to Kevin's grid that he put together, if you look and see where you're falling as a club, and I know we're talking about abstract numbers right now because you probably don't have these numbers, but you will. Basically, just need to make sure that as a club, you are growing more than you're losing. It's that simple. And all these fancy grids and numbers are just trying to tell you that. So let's move on to our next screen. So what's our most important problem to solve if you have low attraction? You know, your clubs, like, people don't want to join you. So is it your club culture? Are you active enough in the community? Are you visible in the community? And I'll use my own club as an example. So, you know, like all of you, we have a membership issue. People are not growing and joining our club. And I've looked around, and probably 75% of us have children. And I've said, how come none of our children are joining our club? And they all kind of laugh, like they don't want to. Basically, the product that we have to offer them is not what appeals to them. And so hand in hand with low attraction, high attrition, again, is it your club culture? Are we not engaging our members? These are issues that you really need to sit down and figure out. How do we flip this scenario? What do we need to change about our club culture? What do we need to change about our members' engagement? And that's this part of let's think outside the box on different ways to do this. And that's not always a simple thing. And to that last point, is this a combination of both? And again, that's a discussion that needs to be taken place at the club level, but these are some critical issues you need to think about when you're ready to have that discussion. So the next slide here talks about satellite clubs. And I don't know how many of you have really heard about a satellite club or what they are, their benefits, and so forth. But I will tell you that I've had a lot of firsthand experience with satellite clubs because I'm trying to start one in my own club. And you would think that people that I've been clubbing with for 20 years and know that I have been a governor, I've gone through Rotary training before to the point that I can't even absorb anymore, would give me a little bit of credence when I bring this idea to them. But they don't. They're scared, right? They don't understand it. They don't get it. They've got all kinds of issues. So let's go to the next screen. Let's talk about what are satellite clubs. It is basically, this is the best way I can explain it. Your club is the business. My club meets at Thursday mornings. That's the first shift, right? They still work for the Rotary Club of Akron, but they work the 7:30 shift. I want to start a satellite club, but I want to meet on a Wednesday night at 5. That's my second shift. They still are a member of the Rotary Club of Akron Newstead, but their shift starts at 6:30 on a Wednesday night. We're all part of the same club, but people don't get that all the time. They hear, ooh, satellite, people meeting at a different time. Uh-oh, they're going to overtake us. And oh my God, they're going to just throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. No. We're all still the same club. All right. You need a minimum of 8 people to get that going, but they can also be 8 members of your current club who just say, hey, we're going to agree to work on the satellite portion. Or it could be 3 people that want to come in. They can't meet in the morning, but they can meet at night or be a little more flexible, and 5 more from the morning club are doing it. Okay, there's a lot of interesting dynamics and ways to work that. And they pay RI and district dues just like you do because they're part of the same club. They just meet at a different time. That is the nuts and bolts basics of a satellite club. From that point forward, they can think outside the box from that point, which is what really excites me. So some of the benefits, you say, why would I want to do this? Why wouldn't they just join my morning club? Well, if they could, they would. If they wanted to, they would. They don't want to. And again, that goes back to the culture of why don't they want to join the morning club? And again, I'm speaking just with my own experience. You might be an evening club, you might be a lunch club, I don't know. But the bottom line is, this is an opportunity for you to bring more people to Rotary. And guys, we need to stop thinking of ourselves in silos, right? I'm the Akron Newstead Rotary Club. You're the Lockport Club. You're the St. Catherine's Club. Yes, but we're all members of Rotary. So who cares if they come at 7:30 in the morning or 6 o'clock at night? As long as we're doing the work of Rotary, who cares, right? It's not going to affect your membership numbers because they're still a member of your club. They're just your second shift or your third shift if you're very prosperous. So accommodates people who can't come in the morning. Maybe they work. Maybe they're not the business owner. Maybe they're not the one that gets to set their own hours. Maybe they actually have to work 8 to 4:30, but hey, 5 o'clock on, it's their time. And then they can participate then. It's an opportunity to expand your community service and enrich and diversify your parent club because you're bringing in a whole different gambit of people. We've all been so programmed to say we need the business owner, we need the person with the deep pockets, we need the high-powered executive. Those are the people that can join Rotary. And I say baloney. We just need good humans who make good Rotarians who want to do good in the world. And if that happens to be the cashier at your local grocery store, who cares? Who cares? We just need good Rotarians. And we've got to offer a product, AKA Satellite Club, that allows them to participate at the same levels we're able to participate. So possible objections. I told Michelle when we were going over this, I could add about 12 more things because I've heard them all, okay? But I feel like we've touched on the most important thing. Fear of poaching members from your parent club. I can't stress enough. We have got to make people understand it's still one club. It's a first and second shift. I own a business. My second shift guys are just as much an employee of Schrock Metal Products as my first string is, right? My first shift. We're all the same. Yes, it requires effort to coordinate. And in this world of Rotary and it feeling like there's so much going on, it does require effort, but anything worth doing does. And my message would be make sure you have more than one advocate in the club. If you don't, then yes, you might be wasting your time. But once you get it up and going, it runs just as smoothly as a current club does. It will help to diversify your club. And some people actually look at that as a negative thing because they're in the mindset of we need business owners, we need deep pocket people, high-powered executives. And when you go, well, what about the cashier? They're like, I actually had somebody say, well, what would their classification be if we had them join? And I said, who cares? They're a good Rotarian. And so we've got to kind of stop thinking some of that traditional stuff, which is why it's called thinking outside the box. And some objections, believe it or not, as it grows Rotary. Read that to say it grows somewhere else, not my club. And again, I go back to we're not a silo. We're all one club. We're all Rotary. So that's my take on some of those objections. And let's go back to why we want to join Rotary. And for that, I'm actually going to turn it over to Michelle. And Michelle, I don't know if we need to pause and see if anybody needs me to clarify anything before we move forward, but I'll leave that up to you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. You speak with such passion and such commitment and such a big heart that it's almost impossible not to hashtag tag the spirit, you know, when you're talking. So thank you so very much. So let's take a look at why did we join Rotary? Why other people in our community, from the supermarket, from the gas station, from the bank, from the hospital, why would they want to join Rotary? And some basic things are for networking. That's one of the main reasons people do join Rotary, especially if you see new businesses or people in new positions in an arena, sometimes in an insurance arena, sometimes in a banking situation, home mortgages. They want to have more clientele. They want to have more people coming to them. So that professional networking is very key to some of the reasons that people originally join Rotary. They join for fellowship, community engagement. Oftentimes you'll see people who are new to the area will look for a Lions Club or a Moose Club or Rotary to just become part of the community. So that's important, and that certainly is what Rotary offers. We talk a lot about personal and professional development. If any of you have had the chance to partake in the dozens of offerings that our district has offered throughout the entire COVID arena, from the very beginning, we started with the Tuesday web talks to all the different committee meetings and the conference and the trainings. Professional development is huge. You don't have to be a Rotarian to partake in any of these online courses that we've been offering. But I want to just pause for a moment, and if you could give me a pitch as to why Michelle or why Melissa should join your club. What is it about your club that makes the average person in your neighborhood, in your community, in your faith community, whatever you're a part of, what makes them want to join your club? What are you doing to invite people into your inner circle of Rotary? We love Rotary times 10. We wouldn't be here on a Saturday morning with this beautiful sunny day outside if we didn't love Rotary. But what are we doing to attract those people that we also know and love and work with? What makes it important for them to come to our club? When I think of my own club, we've had a long-standing tradition of a fly-in breakfast. It's a huge community event. Through COVID, we have not had it. We're not 100% sure we're going forward with it this year, but people know that big event. People know what to expect, that they can get a great breakfast, that they can bring their kids, that they can fly in a plane at a reasonable cost, that they can see a military plane come in. That one event might make them want to join our Rotary Club. Some of our community service projects that we do, like the Great Lakes watershed cleanup, like the blood drives, that attracts attention. So that might be a reason someone may want to join my club. If I could hear from one of you or a couple of you right now, what's something that you're doing in your club that makes it attractive for people to come? Even just invite them to a meeting. What are they going to find? What are they going to learn if they come to one service project or one meeting at your club? Anybody volunteer first? Tommy, how about you? Tell me one thing that you're doing in your club that makes it attractive to someone that they might want to join.
Okay, well, the thing that makes our club attractive is it's okay to geez, you put me on the spot here, Michelle. It's okay to step out of your professional life and be something else. It allows you to reinvent yourself.
That's excellent. And I think you mentioned something like that before, Tommy, when District Governor-elect Lisa asked you, it gave you the opportunity to reinvent yourself. Ross, I see that you have your hand raised.
Hi, Michelle. As far as Norfolk Sunrise is concerned, we often hear people tell us that come to our meetings, this is the best way to start the day. And so there isn't any one event. It's just there's always a lot of energy in the room when Norfolk Sunrise meets, and we meet first thing in the morning, and a great way to start the day.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Scott.
Michelle, are you free next Saturday? Because we're going to be packing a bunch of produce and hauling it down in boxes full to our local community in Fort Erie. It's called the Indigenous Freedom Center. And we usually pack about somewhere in the range from 75 to 100 boxes of produce. And this way you can come and see what your local Rotary is doing for you and your community. And then if you have any questions, call on me and join a meeting.
That was excellent, Scott, and speaks to what Governor Ann has been saying all along. Any community service project that our clubs are doing, any social gatherings that we are having, we should be attracting at least 20% more than what Rotarians are present. So whatever amount of Rotarians are there, we're trying to encourage 20% more people who are non-Rotarians from the community to join in. I remember very well, a young professional in our area joined Rotary, and he would come for the lunch, the noon meetings, and the speakers are always great. And he would say, well, what else do we do? Besides like the fly-in breakfast. He wanted to roll up his work sleeves. He wanted to get to work. He wanted to do something in the community. So that's an excellent way of pulling people in, are to these projects, these service projects that we do. It's a feel-good community effort. They don't last all day, sometimes even just a couple hours. So that's very beneficial. Let's see, anyone else's hands raised right now? Sometimes I have a hard time. Andrea, thank you. Go ahead.
We're on the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. I know that our up and coming president is also on this seminar. And to me, the reason why I joined is because I was in the neighborhood. Now, the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus has thousands of people, a lot of them new, a lot of them that are they're medical professionals. They have an interest in the area because they work on the medical campus. I think if we could encourage people to come to share ideas on what they would like to see on the medical campus, or things that they would do to help people that are in the surrounding area. We also have a lot of club members that work for non-for-profits, and I think that it encourages them to share ideas for the BNMC Rotary and for the medical campus. So I think that would be the best thing for our club, to encourage more people to come.
All great suggestions. Thank you so very much for sharing that with us. And Dave, you've had your hand up for a little bit. Go right ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot. I thought I'd lowered my hand. I guess I really loved what the demo that Scott just did there. That was really good. For me, I think it's the fact that our membership is connected throughout the community. So when somebody new moves into the community, it's natural for them to start looking around. They want to get connected. They don't know many people, and so as long as we're active, we don't have to compete with other clubs, other service clubs in the area. We help promote their events. They help promote ours, and just that connection is a great opportunity for somebody new coming into the community.
Thank you so very much. And the new blood is so important. I mean, we have to admit that, as Melissa had said, we're worried about aging out, before, during, and now after COVID. We've lost a lot of people through health and sickness and moving out of the area. And so we definitely need new people, new ideas, new commitments. Any final thoughts on that? Any final comments? I'm going to throw this out again, and I'm going to share my feelings about it first. So why, as a Rotarian, should I become involved in district events, trainings, or workshops? Everything has been in our own homes, via Zoom, via online workshops, webinars. It's been very convenient to be able to train and move to positions and even different club meetings. the district offers so much assistance. So why is it important for a new member or even for a seasoned member who's been a Rotarian for a very long time? Why is it important for us to be engaged with the district? I will say this, and you've heard me, anybody who knows me has heard me say this multiple times. When I became involved on the district level, an entire other branch, almost another world of Rotary opened up to me. I've looked at my Rotary journey for the past 12 years in increments, in steps. And each time I'm involved in yet another project, event, workshop, my love for Rotary grows even more, to the point where I think it's not even possible to be so committed and so in love with something when there's so much else going on in our life, in my life. But that's not the case. Being part of the public image team, for those of you who don't know, Dave Schultz is the chairperson for that committee, has been one of the most rewarding committees I've been on in the district. We meet every 2 weeks. It's a half-hour meeting. We used to meet on a Monday. It was a great start to the work week. And sometimes people are a little worried in clubs. Oh, I don't have time to be involved in the district. There's so much going on. It actually aids and benefits your club. You take these ideas from these workshops and you go back to your next meeting and you are on fire. And you transfer that energy and that passion to the other members of your club. It's so important. When we have new Rotarians join our club, I will send them links to the district, links to upcoming events. Sometimes I'll text them and remind them what's coming up. I always make sure to thank people after. If I see them from area clubs, area 16 clubs that are present. Tommy, I see your hand raised. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that district has gotten so much more welcoming. Speaking from a club that was almost completely distanced from the district, it was, we keep getting the message, you're not a big club, you must be doing something wrong, you guys are really screwing up, what the hell's the matter with you? And we kept getting that message over and over and over again. And my club just basically said, screw this, we don't want to have anything to do with it. Pardon my language, but I am what I am. And district has gotten so much better than that. They're so much better at being more welcoming. It has made an enormous difference about getting people involved. And I think we can't lose sight of that we have to be welcoming to the people that are here. You can't give them a negative message forever without them either saying, I want to walk away, or I don't want to get involved in this. And hopefully we will continue that. I think the one thing we have to think about, though, is that we have to deal with the people that are still technophobic, that go to Zoom meetings all the time and are tired of Zoom meetings. We have to offer them something from district that allows them to meet district in a way that they love it.
Thank you for that, Tommy. And we do have so many district resources for those who do need help with the technology piece. But I agree, people are wanting to be back together and be together once more. Dave, you have your hand up again. Thank you.
Just to add to what you were saying there, Michelle, in terms of, and without making this too much of a sales pitch for people to join the district level or get involved there. What I found in being involved in the public image committee is that anything I do at the district, I can bring back, like you said, bring back to your club. It's applicable there. So it's not a duplication of efforts or an additional effort as much as it's bringing resources back. And Tommy, thanks for sharing that, because I struggled with their struggle, I think, when they were trying to figure that all out. And Tommy showed some real leadership by taking a district position rather than just kind of withdrawing. I think that made a really big difference to his club and to the area, the clubs in his area. So
Before we move to the next, or if there's any final comments on that, please feel free to raise your hand. And it's been going great, by the way, when you're raising your hand through the computer, because it pops up and I can see it so well where I can't see all of you physically at the same time. One thing I want to say before we move to the next topic is I'm going to issue each of you a challenge to go back to your next club meeting and ask one person that has never attended an online workshop, a district conference, some social event that may be upcoming. We have more things. We have web talks coming up again. Ask only one person from your club to join you during that next online event. Just one, no more than that. That would be absolutely perfect if each of you could somehow arrange for that to happen. It only takes one person. And I'm telling you, the more folks get involved with the district, the healthier your club will be. Any final comments on that?
So you've got two, Sean and Sherry Miller are trying to raise a comment.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Sean Brennan and Sherry Miller each have their hand raised.
Oh,
They're trying to
perfect.
comment.
Sherry, go right ahead.
Yeah, so thank you. I want to echo some of the things that Tommy said. The last 2 years with the district has been so beneficial for me as somebody who's really struggling for getting succession going in my club. And with these 7 new members, being able to leverage the Rotary 101 sessions, I make a effort to join any that I know my members are going to go to so that I can hear what they're saying in those sessions. And I was able to get 3 new members to attend these sessions this week. And previously, I've had struggles trying to get members attending the district sessions.
Congratulations, Sherry. That's outstanding. Go right ahead, Sean.
I just want to say when I'm with my club, we seem to be navel gazing and saying what's going on with our club, with our club, with our club, with our club. When you get to the district, you say, what's going on with the district? And you start looking at the larger picture and seeing all this dynamic. And it brings back an energy in me to say, oh, look what they're doing, look what they're doing, look what they're doing. And I can bring that back to my silo and saying, look outside the 4 walls that we've built and see how better to do things.
That's excellent. You're right. And sometimes we get so focused in our own problems and lack of growth that it just becomes an obsession where all we have to do is reach out to district. And I love the fact that everybody's saying how welcoming in these past few years that district has become. I look to the district and the district leaders and the district leadership team as a huge anchor to always go to whenever there's a concern, and also to share all of our successes as well. Okay. And so now we're going to talk just a little bit about club goals and objectives. And then I'm going to share, you have the link there. So, and I will be sending this PowerPoint to anyone who has attended today. But that link right there is to Rotary International, their membership site. So we can go on as independent persons and link up to that. We also have our own My Rotary accounts. If you are unable to access My Rotary, please check with your club secretary. Please check with your club president. If you're still having problems, Penny is like the master guru person. Dave Schultz is also phenomenal in helping in those arenas. So if you want information at the tip of your fingertips at 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep or you're having a hot flash, ladies, you can access this site, and it's just, the wealth of information is outstanding. In order to retain members, in order to attract members, we need to make sure that our club is healthy. We need to make sure that our goals and our objectives are reasonable, are being worked on. We're looking, like you said, Sherry, into the future. Do we have a strategic plan? Do we need a visioning? Do we need to update our strategic plan? One of the clubs that I work with in Area 16 is AG. They're talking about every new member getting a copy of their strategic plan. After strategic plans are updated, all members receive a copy. That's outstanding. Sometimes these strategic plans are so impactful and everybody gets around them and builds them up and there's a level of enthusiasm. And then they sit on a shelf or in a file in a computer for another 5 years. Take out those strategic plans. If we're thinking that we're not following our goals, if our mission has become maybe a little weak or clouded, let's reach to the district and let's plan a visioning. Matt Smith is outstanding. I just went to his seminar. So many tools, so many resources. What's working right now? What is successful in our clubs? Our speakers are outstanding. Sometimes people think, why do I have to pay to join a club for community service? I could just volunteer at the food pantry myself. I can go clean up on the beach myself. I don't have to pay anybody for doing that. The amount of speakers that we have for $0, except the cost of a lunch or a dinner sometimes, or breakfast, are outstanding. Our speakers are the movers and shakers of our local communities, and even now with Zoom, almost worldwide. That alone needs to be like shouted from the mountaintops. So what's working? Like what are our strengths? What areas do we need to improve upon that will help retain members, that will help attract members? So this is what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna stop sharing this screen for just a moment, but self-assessment is a wonderful thing. In our professional lives, we are evaluated, or we are managers and supervisors, and we need to evaluate our staff. If we're parents, we need to sometimes check off all the boxes of developmental growth and personal growth of our children. When we're in education, we are being assessed by grades, even at the college level or postgraduate level. So self-assessment in our clubs is very important. When was the last time we have issued a full club survey and then taken those results and capitalized upon what was working and took the areas that needed some improvement and started to make target lists of what we're going to work on next? There's so much good, few little tweaks here and there. We can't do everything all at once, right? But we can start slowly. And so that club assessment is very important. So now let me pull this up. Okay, let's see if I can go there now. Share screen. There it is. Oh, Dave, look, I'm getting so much better at this techie stuff. I used to get pits in my stomach when I had to move like that. Can everyone see that? It looks like a little chart. Yes, thank you. Okay, so again, not reinventing the wheel. This is right off the RI website, and this is just a club health check. Absolutely valuable, so helpful. And I love the way it points out, just as a routine doctor visit helps us identify any health risks, this tool will help us in our clubs. This is something that the board can partake in. This is something that the executive committee can partake in at first. And then this is something that can be shared with your members. There are dozens of surveys out there. You can pick and choose whichever one you want, but this self-assessment of our clubs is key to moving forward. It's key to retaining the seasoned Rotarians who've committed a very significant portion of their lives to us. It's key to attracting those new and vital members that will keep our clubs progressing, not only for the next 10 years, but for the next 20 to 30 to 40 years. I'm not going to go over all of these questions. You can see them. And then again, we will be sending these links, and we will, and I think I can do that. I don't know, Dave, maybe you can tell me. I'm going to put this link into the chat box. Again, so many important so many important questions that leads to the information that we need to better strengthen our clubs. Yes, Sherry.
Michelle, at one time, the district would administer a survey for the club. Is this the new updated version of that, or is that still done?
This is actually completely through RI. This is through the RI membership site.
That's
So we can-
actually a private link there, Michelle, to
Oh,
your.
there's a private link.
Yeah,
All right,
so-
I will, I actually have the PDF. So once we get to the end of the meeting, I'll definitely share that. Thought-provoking questions too. Sometimes as a supervisor, what I have my staff do is I actually give them the evaluation before I even fill it out for them. And so they list their strengths, they list their weaknesses, they list their goals, they list their, future plans. This also does that. So sometimes some of the questions are like, oh no, my club isn't doing any of this, or, oh, my club is the best ever because I've answered everything and we're doing great. Self-evaluation at first can be a little painful. Don't worry about it. Keep going through it, keep moving on. This is so precise. So let's say, okay, oh, we have an area problem. We have a problem with club meetings. Our doctor RI is giving us what the prescription is. So these links will take you to exact remedies of how to better strengthen your meetings. We can go down further. Service and socials, here's your questions. What are you doing well? What may need some tweaks? Then we have the prognosis. Here's some opportunities for service. Here's the prescription. Sponsor an Interact Club. Look at the Rotary action groups. Evaluate your club's service projects. You can rank those. There was a time when meeting attendance was significant. I remember you would get fined if you were not at a meeting. I had a Rotarian from many years ago say, it's the reason I didn't renew my membership, because I was embarrassed that I would be called out all the time, that I had missed 2 or 3 meetings, within a 2-month period. Her job didn't allow her to be at these meetings all the time. So evaluating our club service projects, marking those attendance for those people who do help out on a continual basis is so very important. This is a long document. It's not going to be filled out very quickly. It might be something that could be done at a council meeting in your club. It could be on something like in the beginning of a social, and then after it's over, you can enjoy each other's company and some appetizers and whatever. But it really is a tremendous value for the club. When I first became AG, I honestly didn't know what I was doing. And I looked at these resources quite a bit because it helped me fully understand the potential of each of the clubs that I was working with. It also helped me significantly focus on all the achievements that these clubs have made. It's remarkable, the small clubs and what they do on a weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. So this has always been near and dear to my heart. And if anybody would like to comment, feel free to do so. And again, I will definitely share the PDF of this in the chats. And again, you can see it's a big checklist. But if we want that succession planning, if we want those new members, if we want our trusted and valued members to stay with us, this is an excellent, excellent tool. Now, go back to this one. We have lost it. Here we
Michelle,
go.
can I just address a question that's in the chat?
Yes.
It's from Sherry, and you're wondering about the district survey. Sherry, are you referring to the assessment that's done every year between your assistant governor and your governor? Is that the assessment you're talking about?
No, it was one that Matt offered me 3 years ago when we did our strategic plan. And it was one to go out to our club. At that time, I didn't think that our club, it was targeting the right questions. Now that we've made some improvements, we've done some things, I'm thinking maybe that survey might be now a good time to kick off the revision of our strategic plan.
Okay, all right. So that sounds like something that the visioning team has put together, which, Michelle, I don't know if they based it off of that big long list, but
It could very well be. And Sherry, I've made a note of that. And so I will communicate with both District Governor Ann and District Governor-elect Lisa and see where that one is and definitely get back to you on that.
Thank you.
And so, okay. So we looked at that file again on Rotary International of assessing our clubs, assessing ourselves, and then moving forward. So let me go back to section. There you go. We do the most amazing things on the planet, don't we, Rotary? The largest, one of the largest service organizations in the entire world. Our district, our 16 areas within our district has accomplished more during one of the most difficult areas in all of history. And we know about it, don't we? But do the people in our communities know about it? Do our schools know about it? Do our churches know about it? Do our hospitals know about it? So we need to really do a much better job promoting what we do best. How do we go about doing that? I have a link shortly. It'll be after the breakout room. Our district has our public image website, or our district has a website. We have a public image committee. And on that link are invaluable resources right for our district. Press release templates, social media, how to post something on Facebook, how to get it to Twitter. It's right at our fingertips. Our social media, our public image experts are there to help us. So if we're ever having any difficult times getting our message out, getting the word out, please, please let us know. When we think about how we are communicating and how we are getting the word out, thing here. There we go. How we're getting the word out. What are we doing? What message are we sending? What are we doing consistently and on a regular basis to get that word out? Do we hear it just through the grapevine? Are we hearing it on a sorry, that's distracting me now. I can't get to it. There we go. Who are we hearing it from? Number one, do our members who are not coming to meetings, who we haven't seen at a service project in a while, do they know what we're doing? Do they know what we've accomplished? Changeover is a great time to try and pull all those people in that we haven't seen in a while and get them caught up to speed, get them up to par as to what's been going on in our club. How else can we communicate all that we do? If we don't want to be on social media all the time, if we don't have the ability to constantly be putting press releases in the newspaper, what other methods can we be using to get the word out? Many of our members in our clubs belong to the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce is a huge tool to small, medium, and large businesses. Let's get a hold of them and let them know what we're doing. We talk a lot about print media and that, newspapers are extinct, but they're not. People still buy ads in the newspaper. People are still getting the newspaper. Almost every single newspaper has their online version that sometimes is even more affordable than having it delivered to your home. So please don't forget about that. Many smaller radio stations, and I'm not talking the huge ones that are corporate and there's 17 owned by one parent company, but a lot of your smaller radio stations in the smaller areas, in the rural areas, will play public service announcement, PSAs, for free. We're non-for-profit. We have that status now. They will promote our events. They will run ads. We can even record our own ads and they will play them for free. It's a public service announcement for the betterment of their listeners. We see this during Rib Fest. We see this during fly-ins. We see this during some of the big major fundraisers that our district has. The lawn signs. Lawn signs catch a lot of attention. There's several different items listed on here. I know people get a little fed up sometimes with robocalls, but if you decide to record a message and send that out, perhaps before a holiday, perhaps before one of your events, one of your fundraisers, one of your socials, don't overuse it. That will be sometimes welcomed by your Rotarians. If you're part of a listserv through another foundation or someplace that you receive emails, run it by the director, run it by the president of the hospital, whomever. Would it be okay if I hit reply all just this once to let them know about our upcoming community beach cleanup? Those are all ways to keep Rotary being thought about and reminded of in different social circles, in different businesses. Sometimes people think emails are extinct. I personally don't. So if you can email. Our websites, we went through a huge website refresh in our district. If your club did not partake in that, there are still some monies available. You will be able to refresh your website. Now that the websites are refreshed, are we keeping the content current? As an administrator on your website, you're able to go and see how many views how many people have come to you within a month. Or if you post a speaker, did that speaker draw in more of a following? Keep that website updated. Get your members out to community events. You don't have to sponsor the event. You don't have to get a huge work crew to show up for the event. Maybe you can even donate a basket, a Rotary basket, whatever you want to put in it, cost of $25 with a nice big Rotary Club of Grand Island stuck to it, Rotary Club of Greater Jamestown. I'm looking on my screen, Rotary Club of Font Hill, Westfield, Mayville. So all the people who are coming and putting those tickets in that basket raffle now see that your local Rotary Club donated this basket. Oh my goodness, I just saw them in the news yesterday with that beach cleanup, and now they're donating to this event as well. Keep your brand, Rotary is a brand, keep your brand relevant. Something I do on a regular basis is when I'm in Tim Hortons, I almost always purchase for the car behind me. Sometimes I just say, have a good day or whatever. Sometimes I say, from Michelle, the Dunkirk Fredonia Rotary Club. I'm not 100% sure that teller or clerk will give that information to the person behind me, but it's worth it. if you have a Rotary magnet or bumper sticker on your car, and that person behind you sees that you're Rotarian and you bought them their breakfast or coffee that morning, that's a real feel good, and again, promotes Rotary. Greg, your club had great postcards that you created, and I can't remember if you mailed them out, but I know you handed them out like at all of your events, all of your fundraisers, community events. And how many, just refresh my memory, how many did you have printed? You're on mute.
I think that we had 500.
That's excellent. And it was just a really nice snapshot of your club. And you had like learn more about Rotary, you know, or it was just a nice snapshot, nothing cumbersome, nothing terribly expensive, but some promotional item.
I think we just highlighted a few of the things that we had done like over the last 10 years and donations that we had made to different organizations in our community.
Easy, not a lot of work, probably not a huge committee, but effective. The shirts, the pins, the buttons, things like that really do make a difference. When we did our beach cleanup this year, we had bright green kind of neon shirts. It really promoted Rotary, caused a lot of positive attention. And so we're going to have just a we might go down to 5 minutes, sorry, because we're getting a little bit close to time here, but we'll have a 5-minute breakout session. And all I want you to do is come up with one new way, not something that you've been doing, but one new way to get the word out about all your club has accomplished in this last Rotary year, and how to get that out to your neighboring communities, to your larger, maybe even throughout your area, whatever it may be, but just 1 or 2 new ways of how you can get the word out. Just a 5-minute breakout session. And Dave, would you be able to do that?
Sure, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just pause the recording now and then send everybody into their breakout rooms.
For me to shut up.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you. And so just wanted people to brainstorm a little bit. Hopefully, maybe you had a couple new ideas pop into your head from what folks might have been suggesting or talking about. One of the highlights in our little breakout room was that 3 of the clubs in the South County of Chautauqua have band together, and they bought out a college baseball game. So they're going to have 3,000 tickets, and they're going to give that to the community and get community individuals, families. And so that'll be a great way to broadcast all the good that Rotary is doing. Yes, Scott.
Our room had a lot of things. For instance, we use Facebook, local newspapers. We print our own business cards that we hand out to whoever we happen to meet. We have safety vests that we wear out in the public with Rotary at Work printed on it. We wear our shirts out there with our name badges. One of the members, Annette, said that they purchased a tent or like a little pergola type thing with Rotary on it and their club name, which is a great idea. And our club sponsors a several minor league baseball teams in the area at about $300 per season. And all those shirts have Rotary on each team. So yeah, we definitely get our name out there.
That sounds fantastic. Tommy talked about a billboard on the cheap, like those I don't know, like nylon kind of flags that you can tamp down. And if you're selling hot dogs somewhere, list all of your accomplishments and have that featured. That's all great ideas. And hopefully you're going to take some of them away and be able to implement them to get the Rotary word out. As I had mentioned before, just small that screen there. As I had mentioned before, these are the links to our social media toolbox and to our District Public Image Committee link on our district website. Please feel free to go there and access that information. It's invaluable. And again, we're always here if you need assistance. Sometimes we see a bit of a divide between the newcomers and the seasoned members of our clubs who have truly built Rotary in our district. So what are we doing for them? How are we recognizing them? Do we have a Paul Harris Fellow Committee? Are they highlighted at meetings? How about those people who really do have perfect attendance? We've lost in our own club a few Rotarians in these past couple years that had perfect attendance. That's amazing. It's not going to be in my lifetime for sure for me to get that, but those people do need to be remembered and honored. Do we feature them in our newsletters? Are they promoted on our websites? Sue Foster's club, and I can't think of the name of her club.
I believe that's Lincoln.
Lincoln. I think it's almost weekly or bi-weekly that they're highlighting a member of their club on all their social media formats. It's been very well received. Again, they're honoring their seasoned members who deserve recognition, and they're highlighting those new members who are bringing energy and new ideas into their clubs. It's so very valuable. The membership minutes at meetings will help the newcomers understand why our seasoned Rotarians have been part of Rotary for so long. And it honors those who've been with us for a very long time as well. Are we doing enough? How do we do more? How do we make everyone feel appreciated, especially those folks who've hung in for so long? They've weathered the social media, they've adapted to all the new trends that our clubs are doing, and they're still with us and they're still supporting us. Let's make sure that they feel valued. So how do we gain new members? Bring a friend, be a friend, gain a member. Do you remember when we always were very careful about selecting the classifications? Oh, we can't have too many people from the banking industry. We need to make sure that we have someone, from city government. And then, oh no, we can't have too many in that field. The classification list has kind of almost gone out the window. We're not as strict with that. However, when we look at our club health, do we have enough representatives from the cross sections of our communities? There's a gentleman who, anytime I go get gas, I always tip him a couple extra dollars because he is the nicest, friendliest, most upbeat person. If I'm filling up in the morning, he makes my day. As Melissa said, the grocery store clerk, I should be inviting him to a Rotary meeting. He's a great guy. He's got so much energy and personality. So thinking of cross-referencing who is in our communities and how we can draw them into meetings is important. We don't need to worry about, oh, there's too many from this sector, too many from that sector, but let's take a healthy look and see who we are missing. Do we have people from the hospital board in Rotary? Do we have people who belong to the Moose Club in Rotary? Those are all very important things to keep asking ourselves and trying to draw people in. Corporate memberships. I think that's my next slide. Corporate memberships. Are we offering corporate memberships to larger entities? One thing I always like to remind people, those who work in the non-for-profit field have a heart of giving. They don't make a lot of money. They don't have great retirement benefits. They don't have any pensions sometimes, but they commit their lives to working in these non-for-profit fields. They are Rotarians at heart. So whatever we can do to be encouraging them to join our clubs is just a great idea. Event chairs. Each community has large events that we hold each year. What are we doing to make sure that those people are coming into our clubs? Let's try and make sure that we are welcoming them either as speakers or just to meetings. That is absolutely perfect. We're coming down to the end of the wire here. We have a new member. So now what do we do with that new member? Please, let's make sure they have a proper orientation, because that's where they're going to learn the history, the dedication, what Rotary truly stands for. Let's make sure that those new members that we've gotten in the past 3 months come together for an orientation. Your foundation chairs can speak at it, your public image chairs, your membership chairs, all those people can share their wealth of Rotary information to the newcomers. Engagement, engagement, engagement. Make sure our new members are engaged in that next service project, in that next social, pick them up, offer to carpool. And then sometimes we get stuck on the membership fees and the costs. What can our boards do to lower the membership dues, perhaps for the first 3 years for a young professional? If a new member comes on, could we give a deal like buy one, get one kind of offer, or buy one membership, get a membership for half price? Is that something we're willing and able to do? And we have like 1 minute perhaps for any questions or comments at this point.
I can hear Lisa on the other phone on my husband's, and like they're already joining back, guys. So I
Okay.
might need to-
Everyone will be getting these slides. Everybody will be getting the links. Just want to say thank you all so much for joining us today. And if there's any questions, please feel free to email me, call me, or text me. Thank you so much to past District Governor Melissa Schrock and to past District Governor Kevin Crosby for helping with this presentation today.
Melissa or Michelle,
Yes, sir.
I did not receive on the chart that you had at the very beginning of the session showing the health of our club.
Scott, what's your email
This
address?
one, Michelle, the one you sent me.
JSBRODA, J as in James, S as Scott, at gmail.com.
Okay. And that was that for the club assessment?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. I will send that to you.
Thanks loads.
Thank you so much.
See you in the other room.
See you in the other room.